Ashtavakra uvāca. Muktimicchasi cettāta viṣayānviṣavattyaja kṣamārjavadayātoṣasatyaṃ pīyūṣavadbhaja. Ashtavakra says, if you are seeking liberation, my son, shun the objects of the senses as if they are poison. Practice forgiveness, straightforwardness, compassion, cheerfulness, and truth as if these are nectar. It is interesting to observe that the question of Janaka is answered by his guru, wherein he brings in the second of the sadhana chatushtaya, vairagya, to be practiced, and then he goes on to prescribe 5 virtues. Virtues can be developed by a spiritual aspirant only upon developing dispassion, that is vairagya, to all those things which are ephemeral, which are anatman. In the earlier verse, Janaka asked how to develop dispassion. Direct answer by the Guru in this verse for the question is, shun the objects of senses like a poison. Let us look at the virtues prescribed after achieving vairagya or dispassion as prescribed in the sadhana chatushtaya. In this form of 6 virtues, Shat Sampatti. Sama is serenity of mind produced by the constant eradication of vasanas or desires. Dhamma is the control of the external organs. Chinmaya writes here, the teacher advises that we must reject the objects of senses as poison. The sense objects attract the sense organs and bring stormy agitations into the mind. It is an incontrovertible fact that around us sense objects are constantly present. There is no space in the universe that we can escape into where sense organs are not present. Hence, the beauty of the simile implied here. The process of rejecting the sense objects and not allowing them to enter us and disturb our mind is technically called in Vedanta, in the sadhana chatushtaya, as Dhamma, sense control. This by itself is not sufficient. Mind, even from a solitary cave in the Himalayas, can, in its own imagination, get agitated all by itself. Mind is to be constantly guarded and carefully protected from its own inherent sensuality by inculcating into it the healthier values of life and thus re-educating the wayward mind. The third virtue of the six virtues, uparati, is self-withdrawal. It consists in the mind function ceasing to act by means of external objects. Titiksha is the power of endurance. Endurance, right? Shraddha is unshakable faith in the existence of Brahman, in the teachings of Guru, and in the teachings of scriptures, and faith in one's own self. If anyone possesses all the above qualities, samadama uparati, shraddha, samadama uparati titiksha and shraddha, then he will get samadhana or one-pointedness of mind, the last of the six virtues. Basically, all virtuous qualities are to be acquired, and the spiritual sadhaka has to endow himself with all the virtuous qualities after developing vairagya. This is very necessary for developing a sattvic intellect, which can grasp the knowledge imparted by the preceptor with the aim of liberation, equipped with mumukshutva. We can observe that with the achievement of Shat Sampatti given above, with the Shat Sampatti, the five qualities prescribed by Ashtavakra can also be added, which are forgiveness, straightforwardness, compassion, cheerful, and truth. All these come automatically to a sadhaka, and with the six virtues and the five additional qualities given in the verse, where one of the quality is common, dhamma, the sadhaka proceeds to get the last in the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, mumukshatva, intense craving for liberation, for realizing the self. Now, Chinmaya sums up thus: spiritual development and higher motivation are possibly only for a totally integrated inner personality. This, however, is the only occasion where Ashtavakra, throughout his song, talks of moral values. From a transcendental standpoint, the master is pointing out to the student a state of perfection experienced beyond the mind. All values of life and moral injunctions regulate the mental reactions and physical relationships in the world of plurality. When the mind is transcended, these values, valid in the relative planes, can have no more any meaning in the realm of the universal oneness. It is the Master's infinite kindness that he agrees, he accepts to climb down from his unapproachable heights of realization to the relative fields, where his disciple now stands, eagerly questioning on the goal and the way. What Chinmaya drives home is that only in this particular verse, the commencement of the discourse of Ashtavakra in the first chapter, second verse, only in the beginning, from the transcendental self, the preceptor Ashtavakra comes down and teaches on the virtues at the relative plane of existence when you exist with BMI, and thus builds the foundation on which the edifice of sadhana or edifice of realization and post-realization existence can be shared between the Guru and the Shishya, both of them realized. Hari Om Tat Sat.